Thanks for tuning in to the Trade Setup with me, Niraj Shah. Now, here's an interesting statistic. It may mean nothing really, but let's start with it. That did you know that over a 25-year period starting 1998, the data reveals that in the years ending in an odd number, therefore 2025, right, the Nifty averaged a return of 22.9%, and of the 12 years, right, within this period, because I mean, the 25 years, so 12 odd and 13 even. So, of the 12 odd years within this period, the Nifty ended higher in 10 instances and lost ground in 3, resulting in a 77% win rate. Well, talk about statistics and we can get various kinds, but I mean, like I said, this may mean nothing, but who knows, it may mean something as well. So maybe Nifty is in a good state for 2025. Let's wait and watch. Anyway, the global news flow for the day today. The Dow's closed above the 45,000 mark for the first time ever. A record run continues for the US markets. I think the 35th or some crazy number of instances when the S&P 500 has closed at record highs. The bond yields have fallen to the lowest in a month. Jerome Powell's comments were very constructive. He said that the economy is in a remarkably good shape and he is very happy with where the monetary policy is right now. So all of that spurring the US markets for sure. In other news, the French far right joined forces with the left to topple the government. Now, Emmanuel Macron's prime minister has been ousted or kind of shown the door or whatever you call it. And it kind of is a problem for that country per se right now. So interesting times happening across the world. We had some news from Seoul day before yesterday or yesterday and day before yesterday. Yesterday was France. Lots happening around the world, I must say. Okay, so the markets did okay. Futures are flat currently. Bring up Asia and mixed bag. China is down, Nikkei is up. You know, Chinese yuan has done well, but the markets aren't doing well this morning. So that's one. But most of the other Asian markets not doing too badly. Our markets, this is deceptive, frankly. I mean, it could well be lower, by the way. I'm not discounting it. I'm not saying the market should be up. All I'm saying is the pre-open rates or the implied open at this time has proved to be a bit deceptive. So maybe let's not go too much by this. So what's the trade setup for the day? I think that's the big thing, right? So if you just look at the market yesterday, it came off from the highs twice, made 2 attempts and then came off. And that is a bit of a disappointment. But the higher high, higher low structure is still intact on the Nifty daily chart. So on the Nifty, it is not as much of a problem as yet. Even though, remember I said that a large portion of the rally was already behind us, some portion left, but I still think that's not too bad because the structure is positive. The problem area or the caution is at the mid-cap end of the spectrum because the mid-cap index is now approaching the 61.8% of the previous decline. This is the retracement, etc. It's now approaching that, and that's a point of key resistance. So keep an eye out for the broader markets. 9 or 10 straight days of an uptake. I think maybe some cool off could come in there. Yesterday, a lot of strong calls came in on the CDMO stocks. So not the pharma at large, but Divi's, for example, was a consensus buy from 4 analysts yesterday in the closing show. So let's wait and watch if stocks in this pocket can continue to do well. Remains to be seen. Remember, they've already had a rally. So be very careful if you're trading long on these because some of them may come off a little bit as well. In the last 1 month, the Divi's, Laurus, Syngene's of the world have had a really good rally. So actually, there could be some bout of profit booking as well. But yesterday, Divi's in particular saw some really strong calls. So keep that at the back of your mind. PSU Bank rally is as anticipated. I still think they will not crack because there's this belief that the CRR cut will come in and therefore these stocks may not necessarily come off. Be mindful of that. What are the stocks to watch though in the session today? I'll start off with Vodafone Idea and Indus Tower. Now, Vodafone Group is going to sell about 3% stake in Indus Towers and proceeds will be used to repay Vodafone Idea borrowing. So I think, well, naturally it is positive for Vodafone Idea, you would argue, because net debt comes down. But because that comes down, I think analysts expect that the repayment to Indus Towers might happen. Indus Towers cash flow might ensure that Indus Towers becomes a higher dividend paying company. In fact, Citigroup says that based on their calculations of what Indus might do in the second half of FY25 and 26 and 27, Indus is available at a dividend yield of about 6%. They have a positive catalyst watch on Indus Towers starting today. So do watch out for Indus as well. I think it could be constructive for both. On PG and Bharat Forge, I'm not 100% sure. Both of them would depend on the demand. I've given it a thumbs up because I have heard that the demand is okay, especially for Bharat Forge. But PG, QIP opens today a floor price of 705 per share. So a stiff discount. Let's see if this one has a negative reaction or no. And QIP for Bharat Forge, it's a QIP of 1650 crores, price range of 1290 to 1320. So at 1320, that's about a 4% discount, if I'm not wrong. I hear that the demand is about 2x of the current offer, and that might not be bad, but let's wait and watch. So that's about Bharat Forge. Now, some other stocks, transformers and rectifiers, well, has rallied quite a bit, but is going to acquire a controlling stake in POSCO Pognap Electrical Steel. This is a revenue accretive acquisition, will help add 100 to 150 basis points increase in EBITDA margins as per the company. As I said, they've also said it's revenue accretive, but the size of the acquisition is confidential. I do believe, though, while it's an expensive stock, it could add a little bit flavor to itself today because of the margin uptick that they've spoken about because of the acquisition. Brigade might see a bit of a downtick today because the company said that there is a slow progress towards the GDV target of 10,000 to 11,000 crores because approvals are getting delayed. And in a manner of speaking, it's a revenue warning, right? For FY25, the street will probably not like it. So I think the stock should see a bit of a correction today. Suraj Estates, real estate name, could be positive. Has purchased the land in Mumbai for 101 crores. By their own declaration, the GDV or the gross developable value of the land is about 525 crores. So 5x. Let's see if this one has a positive reaction or no. Ratnamani Metals and Tubes. Yeah, I mean, it's an SME stock, but a large order win. Let's see if this one reacts. Don't track it at all. Please be very careful. Do your own due diligence. But Ratnamani Metals and Tubes, I've given it a thumbs down because the seller is Nalanda. Mind you, SBI Mutual Fund and Tata Mutual Fund have bought it. So smart money has gotten into as well. But because the seller is Nalanda, and Nalanda is a really long-term investor, and because Nalanda has sold this stake, it's a thumbs down. Let's see if the stock has a negative reaction. It was down about 1.42% yesterday. Let's see if there is some more in store here or no. So these are a few things that I thought one should keep in mind. From amongst brokerage notes, very quickly, like I said, Citi's given a note on Indus Towers, so that one could do well. And that aside, there is HDFC Securities note on Ipca Labs. They believe it's a steady India growth story, and they have a buy. The target price per Citi is 1800 for Ipca Labs, so do watch out for that one. 1488 is the current price. May do well, who knows. Yeah, those are a few names that you want to keep in mind this morning. Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup.